Driving a truck is one thing. Driving a car or a motorcycle is completely different. Dragging a trailer along or driving a Class A, Class C RV or fifth wheel can be difficult. So come along with me and see what it's like as we drive and we RV. Driving is one thing. In our daily driving to and from work, if we have a job, we encounter all sorts of unique obstacles. We encounter people on our cell phones. We encounter people that just aren't paying attention. They're checking the radio. They're talking to their friends. They're talking to their kids. They're looking at their GPS. Some of them installed DVD players inside their cars. Add to that, the number of RVs on the road have practically doubled in the last 10 years. So, along with the trucks, the bicycles, the motorcycles, and the people who aren't paying attention at all are us in our RVs. And that's why driving an RV is very important. Conditions have to be taken into account. The size of your vehicle, the type of your vehicle, whether you're driving a fifth wheel, which turns a little easier than a bumper pull, or you're driving a Class C or even one of the larger Class A's. All of these have to be taken into account when you're driving in an RV. We're going to look at some of the examples of road conditions that you can be seen drive on and some ways you can improve your driving while you're in an RV and make it easier for those around you and for yourself. We're also going to take a look at what happens when you drive a trailer and how much it's actually bouncing around while it's being pulled. Well, let's talk about distances. I've learned the hard way that if you're only planning on going for 3 days, try to do all your driving on Friday night. Look for something that's within, a couple hours. But remember, a couple hours doesn't mean your car at 55 miles an hour. If you've got windy turns, if you're going through little towns, if you're in rain, or if you're in snow, that 2 hours can become 3 hours. So you have to pay attention to your distances. Usually for trips of a week, I like to drive no more than 5 hours so that on the last day, I can wake up at that campsite early in the morning and have a little breakfast and get ready to go and then have a leisurely drive back home and then get home in time to do the laundry and get ready for work the next day. That means that a 5-hour drive should be factored depending on the terrain you're going to. So even though the GPS says you can make it in 5, the truth is you're going to stop for gas. That 5 is going to turn into 7, and 7's a long time to be in any RV. Now, in my case, we tow an RV. It's an extended cab, but it's not a full-size cab, but it does have a full-size bed and it has a shell. I have extra wide mirrors on my truck. And if you're not familiar with those, you can get them online or you can get them from your local truck dealer or even some RV dealers. In the case of my GMC Sierra, they're simply slip-ons that slip on the existing mirror. That's what they're designed for. And they give you a chance to look at them. Or look at your trailer. Most people make the mistake, though, of using the outside mirror to see outside even farther. Actually, that's backwards from the real thinking. The real thinking is that you use the inside mirror to see the outside because it's closer to your vehicle, and you use the outside mirror to watch your trailer and your line because it gives you a better angle for looking at the back end of your trailer. Most people never really think about that. But after a little experimenting, I found it was a lot better to have that outside mirror focus back and my regular mirror just left in place for normal daily driving. It made it easier to spot and easier to see. So take that into account. Take your blind spots into account. Take your turning radius into account. With a dually trailer that's really long, you have to drive deeper into intersections to make your turns. You have to pull a little further out. you have to give yourself a little bit more way. So take your time and factor that into your trips. Freeway driving is a little different. In freeway driving, normally we all drive on whatever lane we can get away with. Trailers, in the state of California anyway, are supposed to be in the right two lanes of any four-lane freeway. We're allowed in the third lane, the fourth lane, excuse me. We're allowed in the first and second lanes because number one lane is the one closest to the middle, number four is the farthest away, only when we can pass or it says trucks and trailers okay. So normally we're right-hand lane driving, and most of us will follow the speed limit. However, we understand that when you're trying to make a little bit of time, and a lot of the cops, at least in my neighborhood, will give you about 5 to 7 miles over. However, if you're blocking traffic, they're going to get upset at you. So there are going to be times where you're just going to live in the right lane, wait to pass, get back in the right lane, and keep going again. You actually do better on your gas mileage anyway, getting only 10 to 12 miles to the gallon. It's something to consider. If you'll notice here, we're watching another vehicle drive. And as he's driving, you'll notice that he's holding a pretty good pace. And so I'm going to pick a pretty good point to get up behind him and then make my pass based on letting the other cars go around me first. This keeps people from getting upset at you and getting honking at you. And remember, unfortunately, you're a trailer and sometimes a slower vehicle, you've got to use turnouts. It is a luxury though when you have like a Class C or a Class A to be able to gain some speed. But if you're towing, you might as well be a trailer. What's happening inside the trailer? You know how we talk about put everything away, make sure everything's stowed, make sure all the cabinets are closed. Don't forget to put the soap away. Don't forget to put the shampoo away. Close all the drawers. You know, you lift up on a drawer, it's inconvenient, you can't just open it, you got to lift up. Well, here's why. This is actual video of what happens inside a trailer while you're driving it. And it's something to see the way everything's shaking and moving around. Imagine when the cabinet doors start opening or when the refrigerator starts to open. Get to your destination, you need to be very careful about everything you open so it doesn't come falling down on your head. That's why in my front cabinet I shove pillows up with everything because number one, it keeps the pillows from hitting the floor, but number two, it keeps everything from moving around inside those cabinets. Another good idea is to shelf line your cabinets with some sort of carpet because the carpet tends to not to let things slide as much as you think it would. Definitely on the wood that's provided by the manufacturer, stuff's going to slide all over the place. And you know those wonderful hanging glass holders they put in all those wonderful fifth wheels and Class A's? Yeah, forget it. All they're going to do is clink, 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 clink and drive you crazy if you're driving them. And if you're not in it, it's in your fifth wheel, you can come back and get to see your lovely broken glasses. So you might want to reconsider the way you store things in your RV after seeing what can happen to it in this video. Weather. I can't say enough about weather. The last trip I took where we took all this GoPro footage out of the front of our Chevy, you'll see rain, you'll see snow, fog, mist. It was below 39 degrees, so we had the possibility of black ice. All of these things are taken into consideration. We talked once before about times being slowed down just generally by the road or by other drivers. Now you've got to add in weather conditions. So when you're camping in the winter, add an extra hour to your trips. Anything over 3 hours is now 4. Anything over 7 is now 8. It's just the way it is. You've got to be careful, and you've got to watch out for other people because they're not watching out for you. They're looking to get around you. They're looking for every way they can to get by you. And it's your job to defend you, your trailer, and your family. If you think you're going to get home 5 minutes earlier, you're probably not. Just enjoy the trip. Put on some good music and have a little fun while you're driving. But pay attention because driving an RV can be dangerous.